Back at it here on Kansas Sports Chatter as we bring in our next guest, and it'll be Gary Davis. He is one of 4 inductees for the 2026 class through the Kansas Shrine Bowl Hall of Fame. Gary, appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm glad to have you on here. Excited about the conversation. For you to get inducted, like, what was the initial reaction? I know it's not your first induction ceremony, but at the same time, like, what was your initial reaction when you found out?
Well, I got the call from Bryce. I was kind of in shock. I was up. My mornings consist of going to the gym for a little while, and then I got a bunch of old guys uptown here that play dominoes. I was up there playing dominoes. When I saw that call come in, I got up from the table and went where I could talk because they don't ever shut up whenever someone's on the phone. So when I came back, I think I had the look of shock on my face.
How long you been playing dominoes? Are you good?
Oh, since I've been retired.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 years now. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hour morning ritual. We have coffee and cookies, and there's 4, 5, sometimes 6 guys up there.
Well, what got you into officiating? Like, what inspired you to start officiating? I know you spent time as a coach early on, but what got you inspired to be an official?
Well, when I was coaching football and baseball, and they talked me into keeping the clock for basketball games. So I was always involved with the officials at the scorers table. And a lot of times, I really liked most of the officials that came in there. But then there was other times when I was thinking, I think I could do a better job than they're doing. So my first officiating was basketball, and I loved it. Just being in front of the crowd. And where else can you get an adrenaline rush when you're an older guy and you can't play anymore? That's what got me into it. I just wanted to continue to be involved in sports. And at that time, I thought I'll just do basketball and I'll keep coaching. But then the coaching kind of wore thin after 15 years. And one thing that I can't accept losing. I wasn't a very good loser, so that's kind of what got me into officiating.
What was the learning curve like for you? So once you did want to dive in the early 90s to be an official, like, how much did you study and just like trying to learn to be a better official?
Yeah, I tried to watch some of the best guys in the area, and I wasn't in it very long. I was in it about 3 years, and I started going to camps trying to get into college basketball. So I jumped right in, not just studying books, but I was going to camps and trying to get around the guys that were, I was around a lot of guys that were doing D1 and D2, and I just wanted to be there. The problem was I didn't start officiating until I was 33, so it was hard for me to move up very much. So I did college women's basketball for about 10 years. And then I got into college football in the early 2000s, and I could see I wasn't going to move up above JUCO small college level. And it wasn't real fun for me. And I was white hatting in high school, and then in college I was umpiring. And if you know where the umpire is, he's right in the middle of the action. I got knocked over a few times, and I didn't really like it. So I got out of college and just accepted the fact that I was going to be try to get the best crew I could and have the best high school crew I could have.
Gary Davis, one of 4 inductees for the Kansas Shrine Bowl Hall of Fame. That'll be inducted May 6th during a ceremony in Lawrence, then honored again June 27th during the Shrine Bowl in Emporia. All right, 19 games that you have officiated through the Kansas Shrine Bowl, which is in the bios mentions that, is the most by any official. Like, how much do you enjoy just being at the Shrine Bowl and then obviously getting to do it 19 times is remarkable.
Well, obviously I kept coming back. The very first one. Yeah, the very first one I did was in Emporia. And just from the very beginning, the national anthem played, and it was a big crowd. And I always wanted to be in big-time sports. I just wasn't a good enough athlete to be in big-time sports. So the national anthem played, helicopters flew over the top of the stadium, and the chills run down your back. And I thought, this is where I want to be. I want to keep doing this. Even though it's a donation, to me, that was about as big as I was going to get. You know what I mean? So, and the other part of it is when BJ Harris took over in 2018, I called him and I said, I'd like to work one more Shrine Bowl. I like the white hat because it's at Pitt State, which is my alma mater. He said, how about you just take over coordinating the officials because I'm in over my head here. He said, I feel like I'm learning to fly in the air. If you take over coordinating officials for me, it'd be a big help. And I said, I'd love to do that. That way, when I can't officiate anymore, then I can coordinate. But as a Shrine Bowl crew, you have 15 guys, and the 15th guy is a media coordinator. I ended up doing that quite a few times because no one wants to do it. So I'd coordinate the officials, and then I'd be the media coordinator. And then in 2022, I decided I wanted to white hat one more. So out to Hayes, I white hatted one, and the other thing I wanted to mention was the meeting of the honorary captains, the little kids that are, the first one I really remember was had the brittle bone disease. She was 10 years old and she had the smile that was big as you can imagine. And plus, she was in the gifted program in school, and she had 27 broken bones. And then in 2022, when I met that little girl and I was teaching her to flip the coin for the honorary coin flip, and she had a personality and a smile that would just melt your heart. And when she got out of her wheelchair for the coin flip and got on a walker and walked to the midfield, and there was 8,000 people cheering her on, and her smile was from ear to ear.
That's awesome.
Those are the kinds of things that keep bringing you back.
That's awesome. For officiating for you, because there's a lot of now young guys and gals that are getting into it, and I don't know if anyone seeks you for advice, but like, what advice would you give young officials that are getting involved, just to become better?
Oh, just stick with it and don't listen to the crowd. You're talking about young officials. I've tried to bring in young officials, and I've been fairly successful with bringing in some young guys. In 2023, I had a really good crew, and we worked the state 4A championship in Topeka. And my crew was mostly around the 40-year-old age, and I was in my 60s. And one of the guys wanted to take over as referee, and I thought this is a good time for me to get out. So I got out. It wasn't very long, and there was a young guy approached me and said, let's start a young crew. So I said, I'll do that for 1 year, and you can take it over. So I had this crew, and I had two 21-year-olds, an 18-year-old, and a 19-year-old. And we worked a full varsity schedule, and that was a good experience.
Hey, Gary, appreciate your time. Again, congratulations on being inducted, and enjoy the ceremony coming up in May.
Hey, thank you.
That is Gary Davis, one of the 4 inductees for the Kansas Shrine Bowl Hall of Fame. And again, will be honored May 6th in Lawrence during the ceremony, and then during the Shrine Bowl itself on June 27th in Emporia.